Marcus stumbled through the thick alien foliage, his boots sinking slightly into the soft, glowing moss that covered the ground. The sky above was a swirl of green and violet clouds, crackling faintly with energy storms that danced across the horizon. He had been separated from his research team during one of these storms, and now, with his communicator damaged, he had no way to call for help. Each step was cautious, every sound amplified in the still air, as strange creatures watched from the shadows. The planet was beautiful, but it was also dangerous. Twisted metal ruins poked through the moss, remnants of a civilization long gone, their surfaces etched with symbols that glowed faintly in the dim light. Marcus paused to examine one, tracing the patterns with a gloved finger. The symbols seemed almost alive, pulsing gently under his touch. He had seen advanced alien technology before, but this felt different, older, almost sacred. As he ventured deeper, he sensed movement. Something or someone was watching him. He froze, scanning the area, and then, before he could react, a figure stepped out from behind a ruined pillar. She was tall, with shimmering skin in shades of violet and silver, eyes like liquid amethyst, and long hair that floated around her as if moved by an unseen breeze. Marcus instinctively raised his hands, showing he meant no harm. Liara, the alien woman, studied him carefully. She had seen countless intruders in her life, humans among them, and most had been hostile, curious, or desperate. But something about this human was different. He did not radiate fear or aggression. Instead, he seemed cautious and aware, a survivor. Her gaze lingered on his arm as he lifted his sleeve to adjust his gear, and she froze. There it was, the scar. A deep, jagged line that ran across his forearm, faint but unmistakable. Her breath caught, and for a moment, she felt as if the ground beneath her had shifted. This scar was not ordinary. It belonged to the child she had lost decades ago, the one stolen during a violent raid on her city by hostile forces. That child had been taken away, believed dead, marked with this symbol as a sign of survival and future promise. "This scar," Liara whispered, her voice trembling. "You are that child." Marcus frowned, confused. "Child? What are you talking about?" Liara took a cautious step forward, her hands raised slightly. "This mark, it is unique. Only the chosen children were ever given this scar. You survived. You are the one." The words made little sense to Marcus. He had always thought of himself as ordinary. The scar was something he had acquired during a childhood accident on Earth, or so he had believed. Yet Liara's eyes held certainty, awe, and something deeper, relief, perhaps even fear. Before Marcus could ask more, a low hum echoed through the ruins. The sound was mechanical, yet it carried a weight that set his nerves on edge. From the shadows emerged several drones, long inactive, but now powered on by some unseen signal. Their designs were alien, sleek. But their purpose was clear. They were hunters, programmed to capture or destroy. Marcus instinctively drew his weapon, an energy pistol from his exploration kit, but the drones were faster. Liara moved in front of him, her presence commanding and intimidating. She spoke in her native tongue, a series of melodic tones that vibrated in the air, and the drones hesitated. Marcus watched in awe as the alien woman extended her hand, her fingers glowing with energy that warped the air around them. The drones sparked and faltered, giving him the moment he needed to fire. He took down the first drone, then the second, using quick thinking and precision. He noticed that the drone's sensors reacted strangely to Liara's energy field, slowing their movements and creating gaps in their defense. Together, they fought in perfect coordination, human ingenuity, and alien power blending seamlessly. When the last drone fell, smoking and sparking, Marcus exhaled heavily. Liara turned to him, her expression a mixture of caution and curiosity. "You fight differently than others," she said softly. Marcus shook his head, trying to recover. I survive. That's all. I don't know what you mean by child, or why my scar matters. But I don't know. I just did what I had to. Liara's eyes softened. The child. You were prophesied to bring hope. Your people, humans, they were underestimated. Many thought you weak, fragile, unworthy of this world. But now I see. You are different. You can change everything. Marcus frowned, still trying to grasp the situation. I'm just a human. I don't even know your world. I don't know your people. Liara shook her head. No. You know more than you think. You survived when you should have perished. That survival, that courage, is what matters. Klizin, Ara, listen to Ventilstrided. Klizin to live. Listen to Ventilstrided is rounded Helfash. Insedin Tellery. Arivan. Klizin to liven. Arivan Tillery. The ruins around them began to pulse. The symbols glowing brighter, as if responding to their presence. Liara explained that these were remnants of an ancient civilization, capable of sensing life, energy, and intent. The device they were standing near, hidden beneath layers of ruins, had been dormant for centuries, waiting for the child, marked with the scar, to return. Marcus felt a shiver run down his spine. He had always believed his life was ordinary, that he was just another explorer lost in the stars. Yet here, on a distant planet, faced with an alien woman trembling at his very existence, he realized that perhaps his life had a purpose far beyond what he had imagined. Liara led him to a larger chamber within the ruins. The walls were covered in glowing runes, and in the center stood a pedestal with an intricate device. It hummed faintly, responding to Marcus's presence. Liara knelt beside it, her hands tracing the lines of the machine. This is the heart of the ancients, she explained. It controls the energy storms that plague our world. It is dangerous, unstable, and only one marked with your scar can activate it safely. Marcus approached cautiously. Why me? Why would a human? Why would I have this scar? Liara's gaze softened, tinged with sadness. The child was taken during a raid long ago. The scars were a mark of survival, a promise that one day you would return to restore balance. You carry hope that no one else could. The words weighed heavily on Marcus. He had never thought of himself as extraordinary, never imagined he could be a key to an alien civilization. And yet, as he looked into Liara's eyes, filled with a mixture of hope and fear, he understood that this was real. He could not run from it. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. The energy storms outside were intensifying, drawing closer to the ruins. Liara grabbed his arm, steadying him. We must activate the heart now, or the storms will destroy everything. You must trust yourself, human. Marcus nodded, swallowing his fear. He reached toward the device, feeling a strange pull, as if the machinery recognized him, responded to him. When his scar touched the surface, energy coursed through him, filling his body with warmth and light. He felt a connection not just to the device, but to the planet, to Liara, to something far greater than himself. Liara watched in awe, whispering. The device began to hum louder, its energy stabilizing. The ground beneath them steadied, the symbols on the walls glowing in harmony. Marcus realized that humans, despite being seen as fragile by alien societies, could indeed adapt, survive, and even change worlds. He was living proof. When the energy settled, the ruins were calm. The machines dormant once more, but now aligned with the planet's natural rhythms. Marcus looked at Liara, feeling a bond he could not explain. She smiled faintly, her hands still hovering near the device. You have survived, and more than that, you have brought hope. My people will see that humans are not what we were told. They will see what I see now. You are extraordinary. Marcus felt a strange pride, not arrogance, but a sense of purpose. For the first time in his life, he understood that his survival was not mere chance, it was destiny. And the journey had only just begun. Liara helped him to his feet, guiding him through the ruins as the sky outside began to clear. "You must come with me," she said. "There is much to explain, much to prepare. The other factions will not understand your return, and some will try to stop it." 1. Marcus nodded, gripping his gear tightly. He had survived storms, alien wildlife, and now even ancient machines. Whatever came next, he was ready. Together, they stepped out into the alien landscape, two beings from entirely different worlds, united by fate, scar, and purpose. Marcus knew that his journey was only beginning. That the scars of the past carried more than pain. They carried hope, power, and the potential to change the galaxy. And as Liara glanced at his arm, her eyes shimmering with tears, she whispered again, "You are that child, and you are everything our world has been waiting for." The wind howled around them, carrying the faint hum of energy storms far off in the distance. Marcus tightened his grip on his weapon, ready for whatever challenges awaited. The universe had plans for him, and he was determined not to fail. Marcus followed Liara through the dense forest, the light of the twin moons reflecting off her shimmering violet skin. Each step he took was cautious, but his mind raced with questions. How could a scar from his childhood mean so much to an alien civilization? Why had she called him the child of prophecy? Even now, the weight of her words pressed on him, but he forced himself to focus. Survival had always been his skill, and now, he would need it more than ever. They came to a clearing where the ruins opened into a wider valley. Strange crystalline towers stretched into the sky, humming faintly as energy flowed through them. Liara gestured to the structures. "This valley was once the heart of our civilization. Now it lies in ruin, overrun by storms and hostile factions. But within these towers are the archives, the knowledge of our people, the secrets that only the chosen child can unlock." Marcus studied the towers. They were intricate, impossibly tall, and glowing with an inner light. He felt a strange pull toward them, a combination of curiosity and destiny. As they approached the nearest tower, the ground shook beneath their feet. From the shadows, alien drones emerged once again, faster and more numerous than before. Their metallic bodies gleamed in the moonlight, weapons raised. Liara placed herself between Marcus and the approaching drones. "You have the mark. That scar makes you the key. They cannot take you alive." Her voice was steady, but her eyes betrayed worry. "But they will try." Marcus raised his energy pistol and glanced at Liara. "Then we fight. Together." The battle began immediately. Marcus moved with precision, firing at drones while dodging their attacks. Liara channeled her energy through her hands, sending waves that disrupted the drone's circuits. Even as they fought, Marcus noticed something remarkable. Liara relied on him, trusting him to act, while he relied on her guidance and alien abilities. They complemented each other perfectly. After several tense minutes, the last drone fell. Marcus wiped sweat from his brow, feeling a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. Liara looked at him, her expression a mixture of awe and relief. "You fight as humans were always meant to fight, resourceful, determined, adaptable. You are not just the child of prophecy. You are proof that humans can rise above expectation." Marcus shook his head, still catching his breath. "I never thought of myself as special. I just survive." Liara smiled faintly. "Survival is the first step. Courage is the next. And you have both, in abundance." They entered the nearest tower. Inside, the walls were lined with holographic displays, floating symbols, and books that shimmered with alien text. Liara guided Marcus to a central pedestal where a holographic map of the planet emerged. "Here lies the Temple of Ancients," she said. It holds the device that controls the energy storms. Without it, the storms will continue to destroy our world. You, marked child, are the only one who can activate it safely. Marcus studied the map. The temple was located at the top of a mountain, surrounded by energy barriers and guarded by hostile forces. He felt a shiver run through him. This was not just exploration anymore, it was a mission that could change an entire world. Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. We leave at once. Time is against us. The journey to the temple was treacherous. They crossed rivers of molten energy, climbed jagged cliffs, and evaded alien predators that lurked in the shadows. Throughout it all, Marcus relied on human ingenuity, crafting tools from his surroundings, setting traps, and improvising solutions when Liara's powers alone were insufficient. Each success reinforced his confidence. He was not just a survivor. He was a problem solver, a fighter, a key to the survival of a civilization. As they approached the temple, the sky darkened, and the energy storms intensified. Lightning crackled across the horizon, striking the ground with deafening force. Liara's hands glowed with energy as she formed protective barriers around them. But even her power had limits. Marcus realized that if they were to succeed, he would have to take initiative. At the base of the temple, they were confronted by the faction that had hunted him decades ago, the same alien force that had orchestrated the raids on Liara's civilization. Their leader stepped forward, a tall figure in dark armor, eyes glowing red with malice. "The child returns," he hissed. "You should have stayed lost, human. Now you will die." Marcus felt a surge of adrenaline. He had faced danger before, but never like this. He glanced at Liara, who nodded, giving him silent encouragement. He raised his weapon, assessed the terrain, and formulated a plan. Using debris from the surrounding ruins, he set traps while Liara distracted the enemy with energy blasts. When the first wave of attackers charged, they fell into his traps, giving him a chance to strike with precision. The battle was intense, pushing Marcus to his limits. Yet, with each move, he realized something important. Humans were underestimated, not because of weakness, but because of their unpredictability. Their creativity, resourcefulness, and determination could overcome even the most advanced alien forces. When the final enemy fell, Marcus stood panting, covered in dust and sweat, but victorious. Liara approached him, her eyes filled with respect. "You are extraordinary, human," she said. "You have proven what I have long believed. Your people, underestimated and dismissed, carry a strength that even the most advanced civilizations cannot ignore." They entered the temple together. Inside, the walls were lined with ancient inscriptions and energy conduits. At the center stood the device, pulsating with raw power. Marcus felt a strange pull, almost as if the machine recognized him. Liara guided him to the interface. "Your scar," she explained, "is the key. Place it here, and the device will respond to you." Marcus hesitated for a moment, feeling the weight of responsibility. One wrong move could destroy the planet. He placed his forearm on the device, and immediately, energy surged through him. It was overwhelming, yet not painful. He felt a connection to the planet, to Liara, and to the ancient civilization that had built this device. He realized that humans, even alone, could adapt and thrive in ways aliens could not predict. The temple walls lit up, symbols glowing in harmony with the device. Energy flowed outward, stabilizing the storms that had ravaged the planet for decades. Marcus focused, following instructions Liara whispered in his ear, his every action precise and deliberate. Slowly, the chaos of the storms faded, replaced by a calm energy that resonated through the entire valley. When the energy settled, Marcus removed his arm from the device. He was exhausted, but filled with a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Liara looked at him, tears glistening in her eyes. You have done what no one else could. You have brought balance to our world. You are the child, the one we have waited for." Marcus shook his head, humbled. I just did what I had to. I never imagined. I mean, it's incredible. But I was just a human trying to survive." Liara smiled softly. "And that is why you succeeded. Your courage, your ingenuity, your persistence. These are human qualities, underestimated by many, but they can change the course of history." They left the temple and looked out over the valley. The energy towers glowed steadily, the storms dissipated, and the planet seemed to breathe in relief. Liara turned to Marcus. "You will stay with us, will you not? Your people will be remembered here not as invaders or weaklings, but as allies, as heroes. And you, human, will help rebuild what was lost." Marcus nodded. For the first time in his life, he felt he belonged somewhere beyond Earth. He had discovered not only the resilience of humans but also the impact one human could have on an entire world. "I will stay," he said. "If I can help, I will." Asked, 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 asked. In the days that followed, Marcus trained with Liara and her people, learning their technology and sharing human strategies. Together, they repaired damaged structures, defended against remaining threats, and slowly restored the valley to its former glory. Marcus's presence inspired Liara's people to reconsider their assumptions about humanity, realizing that even a single human could be a force of hope and change. One evening, as twin moons cast silver light across the valley, Liara approached Marcus. "You are more than the child of prophecy," she said. "You are a bridge between worlds. Humans are capable of greatness beyond what we imagined. And you have proven it." Marcus looked at his scar, the mark that had once seemed ordinary and meaningless. Now it was a symbol of survival, courage, and the potential of humanity. He smiled faintly, understanding at last that his life had purpose, not because of destiny alone, but because of the human spirit, the spirit that could rise, adapt, and overcome any obstacle. As he stood beside Liara, watching the alien world recover from centuries of chaos, Marcus felt a sense of pride and belonging he had never known. He had survived storms, enemies, and impossible odds. He had faced fear and uncertainty, yet emerged stronger. And in doing so, he had shown that humans, often underestimated by alien civilizations, were capable of extraordinary things. The planet was alive again, humming with energy and possibility. Marcus knew the journey was far from over, but he was ready. He was no longer just a human, alone in the galaxy. He was a symbol of hope, a living testament to the resilience and greatness of his species. And wherever the future took him, he would carry the lessons of courage, ingenuity, and determination. Liara looked at him, her eyes shimmering with gratitude and awe. "You are the child, and you are more than we ever imagined. Together, we will shape the future." Marcus nodded, feeling the weight of the moment and the promise of tomorrow. For the first time, he realized that humans were not just survivors in the galaxy, they were changemakers, capable of altering destinies and inspiring hope across worlds. And he, a human marked by a scar, had proven it. The wind swept across the valley, carrying the hum of restored energy and the faint promise of new beginnings. Marcus tightened his grip on his gear, ready for the challenges ahead, confident that humans could rise above any expectation, overcome any danger, and leave a mark on the universe that no one could ignore. He smiled at Liara, and together they faced the horizon, ready to build a future stronger than either could have imagined alone.